Hello everyone, Ace here, and today I have an update with regards to Short Fat Otaku and his response to my invitation to him onto my channel. That being that he has officially denied that invitation, which is not at all surprising to me. This was something that I had long anticipated. It was also a golden opportunity, and thanks to the manner in which Dev declined my invitation is exactly the sort of thing that I was looking for. Because it wasn't a case of Dev saying no, so much as Dev going into detail as to why he was declining the invitation.
Drop the response video right when Ace streams on Saturday. It'll be so funny watching his mind melt from you not coming on and putting it up. Yeah, I still have not seen what Ace has been saying, and I don't even care all that much. I'm sure he'll clip this because he's a fucking weirdo, though. Oh, whatever. Hold on a second.
That's where the chill is. Rest is fine.
He wants you to come on to stream Saturday. God, you know what? So here's the thing, okay? I want you guys to understand.
Unmute me.
Freaking. I want you guys to understand, like, my point of view on this, okay? Imagine you have a guy who hates you, who farms you, who constantly puts forward your position in the worst possible way, who constantly makes mountains out of molehills to the point that even his own comments are saying, dude, you're stretching on this one, and is desperately trying to get my attention for months and months and months and months and months. And then he's like, I challenge you to a debate. Like, what?
That's literally just like, don't pay attention to the haters.
Yeah, and it's like, if you don't accept the challenge, you're a coward. It's like, dude, get a fucking girlfriend or something. Like, fuck.
Stop trying to suck my boyfriend's dick. It's mine.
$5 says he just wants to be an NPC, cry about Wicked or be rich. The funny thing is, like, I walked into Chud Logic's chat this morning when I woke up. I was just like, watching a little bit of Chud Logic.
So as you heard, Dev's reasoning is that he doesn't want to go onto a stream with someone who he believes hates him, who is farming him for content, who he claims has been trying to get his attention for months, you know, even though I've had his attention right from the very beginning, and also the accusation that I present Dev's arguments in the worst possible light, which according to Dev, the worst possible light to provide his arguments within is to simply read them verbatim, providing the full conversation from beginning to end, and thus including the full context. In other words, the worst possible light to show Dev's arguments is just to simply provide the full context and read it aloud for everyone to hear. Kind of a damning statement on Dev's arguments at that point. That his arguments are so utterly trash that the only way you can hope to present them in a more positive light is through sheer dishonesty, through taking him out of context to make him sound better. Because according to Dev, the worst light that you can provide his arguments within is, like I said, to provide the full context. And those very factors are the reason why Dev has decided to decline the invitation. Of course, though, that very emotional response on the part of Dev also applies equally to the response video that he has claimed to be totally making for multiple months now. The response video that he announced all the way back in December that was going to be about me specifically.
Let me just get through these, Dev, and we can catch up because we got a lot to talk about.
Sure.
Hiroshima for 2, Ace 1918 makes great videos about Dev's Pharsee. It sounds like you guys are good friends.
I'll be making a great video responding to him very soon.
I feel like the drama between you and Ace and V is more drama than I could ever dream of coming from me. That's impressive to say.
No, V's a good boy. It's Ace. It's not V.
Because if Dev is declining the invitation I made for those reasons, then as I've already mentioned, those reasons do in fact apply to his decision making when it comes to his response video towards me. A response video that has been suspiciously absent for months now, despite it being so apparently urgent to Dev. In other words, by inviting Dev to the channel, I have gotten him to decline that invitation in a way that is a low-key admission that he had no intentions of finishing the response video in the first place. Because Dev thinks that I hate him, that I provide his arguments in the worst possible light, that I farm him for content, and that I've been spending months trying to get his attention, well, those are all equally as much reasons that he is declining to do the response video as they are reasons for him declining the invitation itself. An invitation which would be less work to actually go through with. An invitation in which I would be facing him live, meaning that were I just arguing in bad faith, well, that would put me at a distinct disadvantage, because it would require on-the-spot reasoning to make excuses that would inevitably come up were someone to be arguing in bad faith. Take a look at Vosh trying to argue that water isn't exactly H2O in Mexico and instead it's agua. And yes, that's an actual thing that Vosh once tried to argue during a live debate. But the point is, such lame excuses are inevitable when it comes to trying to argue in bad faith, especially when doing it live. So if I were in fact arguing in bad faith the way Dev claims, it would absolutely be in his best interest to face me live rather than try to do a response video where I could counter by making a carefully crafted response video of my own. So if Dev isn't even willing to go through with the debate, even though were he telling the truth it would in fact give him an advantage and be less work, then the fact that the same reasons that he has for refusing the invitation also all apply to his response video means that logically speaking, like I said, he has in fact low-key admitted that he isn't actually working on the response video. And again, that itself is not exactly much of a surprise. But if all it took for me to get him to low-key admit that is to invite him onto the channel and let him make a fool out of himself before ultimately declining in the manner that he did, well, that's a win in and of itself, isn't it? And if Dev, out of his own sheer hurt ego, actually decides to do the response video as a result of me uploading this video, well, to be brutally honest, that's only going to work in my favor at that point. That means I've succeeded in getting under his skin so thoroughly that I can essentially dictate his own actions to him. I've always stated that Dev's own ego has been a massive weakness for him, and even though he to some degree I suspect understands what would happen if he were to actually upload the response video, I also suspect his ego can be bruised enough to convince him to do exactly that, especially considering the pressure that others have been putting onto him to make that response video now. Dev may have no intentions of doing the response video, but ultimately he can be tricked and pressured into doing it anyways. It simply takes the proper motivation. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.